Another great resource we have to allow students choice in their assessments and their ability to show us what they know is embedded right in Schoology, and it's so simple. If you've attended any of the other trainings, especially the basics boot camp, we've already reviewed this, so it might not be something you need, but if you haven't, I wanted to go over different ways that you can allow students choice and different ways that they can express what they have learned. So for instance, if you look right here, here's an audio assessment sample that I created for, obviously as an example, but that could have been used with my students. I'm going to preview the question from the student view. So here's a new assessment. It's start new attempt. In this assessment, the students will record their answer. Here is the question. And again, if you were in boot camp, you learned how to use this tool and it's so fantastic for students. But if not, it's a very accessible tool for students to make their learning theirs and to make it more accessible to them. This will allow them to play the question to themselves. So in this question, I'm asking students to essentially give a response and defend it using evidence, the same that they would do in the written form. So this is giving them that sense of choice. Especially in our online virtual world, I feel like our students got very bogged down in some of the day-to-day minutia of the lessons that were provided. So this is just another way to allow them to express what they've learned in a different format. This is so easy to create, and it can be something that you can individually assign to students. You could poll them in class what students want to do this in the written form, what students would prefer to do it verbally. And I very quickly learned my students in the virtual world. I knew my students in our brick and mortar environment, but in the virtual world, it was a bit different. So I had to learn what they felt more comfortable with. So in order to do this, you would simply go to into Schoology, and you want to add an assessment. I'm going to name it demo. Enable submissions. I'm going to disable password. I'm just going to put ungraded, create. This takes you to that assessment screen where you have your assessment settings. So again, does the assessment have a time limit? Are questions randomly ordered? What I really like is the toolbar. Can students flag questions for review? I absolutely think they should. Should they be able to eliminate answer choices? When I used to take multiple choice tests, I would cross them out. But this isn't that kind of assessment, but you could always say yes. Then you'll go down. Can students use text-to-speech toolbar with screen masking during attempt? You would hit yes. Can they highlight text? You can hit yes. Can they take notes? You can hit yes. Again, these might be accommodations, but I do not see a reason why all of our students can't use that to the best of their ability. And then you have allow students to view results, yes or no. And especially if it's a verbal response, I would maybe give them 2 times and save. Again, those settings are completely up to you and what you feel comfortable with. But remember, in the spirit of UDL, we're trying to make things as accessible to students for them to be successful as possible. We're trying to break down those barriers. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to go to questions. I want to do a different type of question. I want to have them do an audio answer or a video answer. Maybe the assessment had them doing a written choice and I want to give them another option. So for an audio, you would click audio. And again, all you must do is type in your question. This is not a great question. Do you prefer dogs or cats? Spring. And obviously I already have a rubric that I've shared with them. And I'm going to hit save.